And good morning from Hawkins Hall. Thank you for joining me today on this virtual town hall meeting geared for faculty and staff. It's my honor to be your president and to work collaboratively with you. This is an unsettling time for each of us, and what we are facing and addressing is unprecedented. We are mindful of that and how hard you are working, and we will do all that we can to support you. As I've said in my emails to you, please take care of yourself, and I mean that sincerely. You are our most important resource for students. We have shared with the students how stretched you are already, from the closing of the local public schools to the myriad of other challenges that exist. We have asked them to be patient and understanding, and based on my early interactions with hundreds of students this semester, I know they will extend their goodwill to you. There have been two developments overnight that I want to outline with you this morning. First, the Clinton County Health Department reported the first confirmed case of COVID-19 locally. The individual has no specific connection to our campus community. This underscores the critical importance of all of us practicing social distancing and the prevention tips that have already been shared. As I wrote last week, we have encouraged students to not return to campus. However, for international students and students with challenging housing circumstances, this may not be possible. For those students, the residence hall will remain open. Second development is this. The government and SUNY last evening told all state government, including us, to direct its non-essential employees to work from home. This is a new state initiative and applies to our SUNY campus. The decision complements the temporary alternate work location steps we outlined yesterday, and details are in an email I just sent to you this morning. I know you understand the situation remains fluid and directions could change further. As we proceed, employee classifications can change and employees may be recalled back to campus to work. It is the governor's directive that as many work at home as possible, and we want to be consistent with that as we strive to institute measures to protect all of our employees. In the meantime, and until you are given a notification from HR, please work with your supervisor in determining whether you are able to work at home today. It is the governor's admonition that as many individuals work at home as possible, and we want to be consistent with that. Next, I want to thank Kim Hartshorn and Gary Kroll from our faculty for reaching out to me yesterday. Kim, Gary, and I share the belief that the best approach to this challenge is the following three concepts: stay calm, take it slow, and do your best. This won't be perfect, but it will support our goal to ensure the success of each and every one of our students. And it will demonstrate to future Cardinals what makes SUNY Plattsburgh the special place that it is. I'd like to offer the following. As you approach your instruction next week, keep your activities simple and flexible. Continue using any online formats that we're using before the break. And finally, keep in contact with your students to the best of your ability. And I'd suggest virtual meetings. Google Hangouts is a good option to be able to connect with your students using video conferencing tools that are already on your desktop computer. So where are we? The spring semester will continue with remote distance learning in place beginning on Monday, March the 23rd. I want to emphasize how you approach this is up to you. You're in charge of your classes. You know what's best for our students. So I want to emphasize flexibility and being able to address the needs of our students, and you know best. The college is open, but it is certainly different. And those differences continue to unfold as new limitations are put into place. You now have the option for a temporary alternate work location, as one example. As the days go by and as the week progresses, on-campus services will continue, but hours will continue to be scaled back, and we are maintaining limitations on the gatherings of individuals consistent with social distancing and public health guidelines. These may become more restrictive and more limiting after time. With that, I turn to today's virtual town hall meeting. And again, thank you for joining us this morning. I'm here to address your questions, which you can type in on your keyboard. I will do my very best to answer them or get answers from others on-campus leadership before this end of 1-hour session. If there are any questions we can't answer here, we will do our level best to include answers in a future communication here on campus, either on campus to the webpage or through email. And this messaging point or this email information, I should say, will be on the front page of the homepage of the campus website. So with that, I'm interested in receiving your questions. Just let you know that as the questions come through, I will read them and I will be able to provide answers as we go through. So the first question is from Richard Spindler. Will the library continue to be open after today's announcement? At this point in time, the library remains open. The question is, why do only professors get to work from home? That question is actually responded to by the email this morning. Non-essential employees have the capacity to go home right now. In fact, are being instructed to do so. The question that's come up is, will non-essential employees be prevented from visiting their offices for short periods if necessary? I'm going to look to see if I've got some guidance on this, but I'm going to wait for just a moment to see. So I'm getting a response that simply says that we will get back to that question in the live session. Next question is, at first I understood that local students could attend class, no more than 10, 6 feet apart, no advantage to them. Is that still the case? At this time, no face-to-face classes are scheduled beginning March the 23rd. The information that was distributed was for students who may have research projects going on in laboratories where they could come in and work in solitary or under the supervision of a faculty member. But we're not attending or not having class sessions scheduled on campus beginning March the 23rd. Question is about mail delivery on campus, and we'll come back to that one in just a moment. Now, this is going to get a little bit disjointed. I'm going to return back to the earlier question about, can you come back to the office to collect materials or do what you need? The short answer is yes. You may come to work and pick up anything you need as needed. Question about I was hoping to give my lecture to an empty classroom. Will that be possible? The short answer that is being delivered to me right now is, nope, hasn't arrived yet. So put that one on hold and we'll get back to it. Next question comes about approximately how many students are living on campus. And I'm going to pivot to our VP for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs because I don't want to give an incorrect answer. I'm assuming the question is, what's the normal number of students or the students we've had on our campus this semester? Or is this related to the number of students that we anticipate will return after break? So individual Robin, if you've written that question, you may want to write back and just clarify, are you looking for the number of students that we anticipate will return after break? Next question is, okay, I'll go back to mail delivery will continue. There may be modifications from mail pickup on the schedule. And also some offices may be closing, so students or colleagues should reach out via email at this time. We'll have a complete list very shortly by division of what's closing on campus. Next question, will work studies students be able to work? And given the recent memo concerning our employees working from distance or telecommuting, I'll have to ask our HR experts to give me some feedback with respect to where we are with work study students. So I'm going to go back to the library question. The library is currently operating with reduced hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekdays. It's going to be closed on the weekend. This is being done to greatly reduce the number of people in the building and to promote social distancing and allow for more time for cleaning. Further restrictions may be necessary, and they'll be updated hours online. So the next question comes back to many were planning to tape labs. Can people tape if they do it by themselves? And this comes from Dr. Miller. Dr. Miller, if you can just clarify what you would mean by doing it by themselves. I'm anticipating you mean can faculty enter the laboratory spaces and tape them or record them on their own. So back to the work study question. At this point in time, work study students should contact their supervisor prior to reporting to work, and more direction will be provided to supervisors as soon as possible. There's a question about a list on non-essential employees. And based on the memo that I sent out this morning, all non-essential employees are either have or are in the process of being informed by the university that you fall into that category of non-essential. And I will watch my screen to ensure that this message has gone out. And in that same vein, there's a question, will non-essential personnel who need to leave charge leave credits? And I'll wait for a clarification on this particular answer. So back to the question that was asked by Dr. Miller about the use of empty classrooms. Yes, the use of empty classrooms to record lectures is possible at this time. And back to the question about non-essential employees. Non-essential employees are not to charge leave credits until further notice. Questions come in about courses that use resources like specialty software. Not all students can maintain access. Do assignments need to be the same for all students in a course, or they can differ based on what students have access to? So I know that the conversation has circulated among the deans and academic affairs about the specific software needs for students that are, as this question asks, specialty. I'm going to wait for an answer back in terms of what assignments or what particular software access may be able to be maintained. So I want to clarify an earlier response I gave. The library is currently operating with reduced hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. weekdays. It will be closed on the weekend. The question about may faculty work in their office if they wish or need to? And I'm going to reiterate an earlier response. The answer is yes. You have access to your office if you wish to use it or need it. And that's not going to change as of this moment in time. Can students still come to campus and work in the lab for independent study projects? And the initial indication that we have on this is that yes, indeed, students who are still present on campus will have access to laboratory for independent research. Again, we are strongly focusing on social distancing and maintaining small groups of individuals on our campus and in our campus environment. So the earlier question that came in, this is a response from Academic Affairs. We will be limiting the number of classrooms that are available for recording lecturers. And Academic Affairs will be providing further guidance on this momentarily, I'll say very soon. The next question is the March 31st end for work from home for non-essential employees from the governor or a campus imposed potentiality? Right now, the March 31st date was a 2-week date for us as a campus. From my understanding, the governor has not placed an endpoint for that particular mandate that's gone out to the state. We have a question concerning how should non-essential employees working from home enter hours in their time records? and I'll wait for a response to come back. And coming back to the question about the duration of this, the governor's duration is at least till March the 31st. And we will be flexible and adjust our situation on campus to always mirror what the governor is instructing the campus and the state to do. So the question has come back as to how many students will return after break. And at this point in time, that's a question that we don't have a specific answer to. Residential Life and Housing will be doing essentially a very quick census as to who's returning, who has returned after break. What I will be doing during the student town hall this afternoon is strongly encouraging our students to not return to campus. And with the caveat that some students, such as international students and students who are challenged with respect to housing, will certainly need to return to our campus, and we will support those students. So the answer with respect to the number, we don't have an estimate for that at this point in time. Something that says, will employees need to use their accruals while working from home? And I believe that goes back to an early question about not charging credits. And if I've misrepresented that, I will come back to it, but I believe that falls into the same category as the question we answered a few moments ago. Question about any update on how we will handle advising. I have between 30 and 40 advisees. So I will let that question simmer for just a moment and return to a question that was asked about the special software. Special software, we're in the final stages of testing remote access. And according to our colleagues in ITS, all is working well. A final list and directions will be available in the next day or so for faculty and instructors to know which specialty software will be up and running. So the next question I like I like the next question very much. Is there anything that faculty can do to support students living in the dorms? I think our support will come from a variety of ways. Being in contact with your students through email, through Google Hangouts, will provide them a sense that they are being supported by the campus. Even though we need to move to a more virtual environment to ensure that social distancing is being adhered to, I know that our students will appreciate as many opportunities to hear from faculty and staff on our campus as they can, to reassure them that we have their goal of student success in mind, and it's forefront for the campus work right now. With respect to the advising, the plan right now is to shift to remote advising, and further instructions will be forthcoming from academic affairs with respect to how we will handle the remote advising. And so that's, okay, let's see. The next question is, we must do more than just encourage students not to return. I've been talking to my students all week, and many of them are planning on returning because they don't want to stay home with their parents. They'd rather be here with their friends. I know we have little control over off-campus housing, but should we be letting hundreds back into the county after they've been in infected areas? Any guidance from the governor? I'm going to do my level best this afternoon to encourage our students to not return. And I think part of this connects to the capacity to serve students and serve the community in the event we have to ramp up services for our community members. Many students are contemplating staying away from the campus. However, I would also emphasize to you, we have many students who don't attend SUNY Plattsburgh that are likely returning to the community because their schools have asked them not to return as well. So that's going to be an interesting conundrum for our community. And I also want to emphasize that the earlier case that we described, the first positive, was not a member of our community as well in terms of the SUNY Plattsburgh community. So we have experienced a situation where an individual who has nothing to do with our campus has returned to the community and has tested positive for the COVID-19. So I want to return back to the non-essential employees that are working from home. So in terms of non-essential employees working from home, classified staff should log the hours worked and they will report that to their supervisor. Professionals should report work performed only and long absences not related to COVID-19. So I'll say that again. Professionals should report work performed only and only report long absences not related to COVID-19. More details will be provided by HR online very soon. Next question is, thank you for this opportunity. Will there be resources for employees who work remotely and do not have access to a printer? Can we get back to the office to print things that are needed from time to time? This is from Michelle. Michelle, I'm in the same situation as you. I do not have a printer that works in my home either. So I will be coming back and forth to the office, and the office will be available and open for you to be able to access printing and other aspects of your work needs. So there's a question that says, with places such as Starbucks and public libraries closed in the New York City area, will our students there who may not have Wi-Fi access at home be able to patch in using EduRoam in proximity to SUNY and other participating institutions in the metropolitan area? And I think that's a really innovative question, because as sort of free hotspots begin to be limited, if students are in proximity to a SUNY campus, would they be able to log in through the EduRoam? I'm going to allow that question to simmer for a moment as our ITS support folks provide me an answer to that particular question. And I want to just reiterate, if you're an employee, you can come to the office to retrieve your supplies, to print your items, and it's probably wise to notify your supervisor in advance. If you're a non-essential employee, you've come to the office. Again, the governor's message is quite clear. We're encouraging non-essential employees to remain at home at this time. This is a question that's going to require a little bit more input from experts across campus. It says, what support, financial or otherwise, is being offered specifically to adjunct faculty paid on a course-by-course basis? I can plausibly see the work to transition to remote learning as part of tenured and tenure-track faculty workload and compensation. But as an equity issue, I am concerned for my adjunct colleagues. I understand this is also a labor relations issue as well, but I am interested in hearing what the college is thinking. And John, thank you for that message. I'm going to let that one percolate in the expert box on the here within the Hawkins Hall, and I will certainly address that when I have some additional feedback and clarification. Question is, are temporary service students eligible for unemployment benefits if they cannot work? This is going to be an HR question that we'll wait for some feedback on during the town hall here. Question is, what is our current procedure for non-essential personnel who cannot perform duties from home? And I'm going to let again, our HR department provide a feedback on this one as well. The short answer that I would extend to you is, if you're classified as non-essential personnel, you should go home. Simply, we're concerned about the safety of our employees on campus. An earlier question concerned about spring break in terms of the next steps. So I want to emphasize that we're discouraging students to not return following spring break. And I'm going to reiterate that this afternoon in the town hall with our students. We are in contact with international students and others who have limited options. And we understand that we expect dining services will become more limited, the gym is closed, and other items will become more restricted. So if students are exploring their options, I want them to understand that there will be much more limited access to things such as as the gymnasium, the dining hall. If we've listened to the governor's advice, the dining facility may have to go to completely box lunch and pickup rather than sit down. We're going to be encouraging and certainly being vigilant that we don't get into large groups, so social distancing is going to be a primary way that we're going to help the campus address the spread of the virus. So the question concerning, okay, I'm going to go back to this one here. Is there an update on the campus purchasing online proctoring service to secure delivery of online assessments? So I'm going to let that one go into the hopper or the experts box to give me a response back in terms of the online proctoring services to deliver assessment online. So the next question is there any thought to now allowing students to come back to campus? I'm struggling with bringing a large number of students back to campus who have been in areas with large numbers of COVID-19 cases. Our community resources do not need to care for students who can be at home. Also, with non-essential employees on campus, this seems to be even more irresponsible. So I'm going to return to a point that the governor made over a week ago. His message was, we are not evicting students. And I'm going to take that guidance as seriously. We are encouraging students not to return to campus, and I'm going to re-emphasize that and multiple times in my message this afternoon. However, we do have students who do not have a home to go to. International students do not have, in some cases, an opportunity to return home. And some of our students do not have homes at all to return to. And so for those students, we're going to be providing the support that they need to be able to remain on the campus. The next question is Zoom available for faculty, staff, administration to hold meetings to complete departmental business not related to a course, such as scheduling committee work? At the moment, Zoom is available. There is I believe, a finite number of licenses that we have available. However, the Google Hangout option that you have can substitute or actually work identical to a Zoom meeting where you can actually have real-time video and real-time chat and question asking. So that's an option. Here's a question. How does one report pressure from colleagues or supervisors to hold non-essential in-person meetings? That's a good question. I'm going to let that one float into the HR inbox for just a moment. The message that I want to extend to campus right now is this. We are moving into a virtual environment. If you're going to have a staff meeting or a faculty meeting, do it virtually. There's no need to be face-to-face, specifically given the concerns that everyone has with respect to transmission and communication of the virus. There's no need to meet in person. The administration, cabinet, and the policy management group has already switched to an online virtual meetings platform, and it's very effective. So for those of you that are contemplating having face-to-face meetings and are just desperate to do that, I'm going to say don't. Conduct your business virtually using either the Zoom or the Google Hangout modality. So the next question is, are we allowed to take students in the field using a university van for field research on independent study? These would be local trips. And I want to just make sure we have clarification. I think we're talking about one student and one person in the van, and so we've got a driver, and then somehow we're keeping the students 6 feet away from the driver, and we're practicing social distancing. But I'm going to wait on some feedback from academic affairs and with respect to that. So a question that came up a little bit earlier was about non-essential employees who cannot work from home. So if a non-essential employee who cannot work from home needs to contact and work with their supervisor, and they may be assigned work outside of the normal duties. So that's the current thinking with respect to the answer for that particular question. So here's another question, an answer to a question that came up a little bit earlier about the unemployment insurance. Unemployment insurance for students is a decision of the Department of Labor. We do not make that decision here on our campus. Further guidance with respect to that, and certainly from the Department of Labor, should be forthcoming. There's a question that's come up that I just noticed sitting at the top here is, what about people with compromised immune systems? And I think that much of the guidance that we're receiving from the governor is to protect the safety of our employees. And I think that the question has, I can rely on perhaps some of our experts within the health and wellness here at campus to provide me some additional guidance to provide you an answer back. But the short answer is that the governor has tremendous concern for the safety of all members of the state, but also the state employees. And so certainly, if there are issues of compromised immune systems, that's a serious consideration with respect to being essentially in public. All right, the next question is, can student services offices forward their main phone lines to another line off campus? Can we forward individual office lines to our individual cell phones? That's a great question about call forwarding. I'm going to allow our ITS experts to provide me some guidance to be able to send you that information. It seems to me a great solution to be able to keep in communication, and in many ways it will feel to the caller that we're able to maintain business as usual, but we're seamless in terms of providing service. So the question with respect to compromised immune systems, our alternate temporary work assignment process allows accommodations for those employees. And again, I would say speak with your supervisor, and they will be receiving guidance from our HR department as well on this. Question that came back at 10:17, how many students are on campus right now? That's a good question. I don't know if we have had an answer yet from the enrollment management and student services area on this. All right. Question is, if we have trouble connecting with Chromebooks, et cetera, is IT planning to be on campus to help staff? And I'm going to wait for a response to that with respect to IT in terms of being able to provide you a clear answer and guidance on that particular question. The next question is, how will it work in Myers after break? Will ceramics, sculpture, printmaking, and all art studios be open to everyone? And it's my understanding that we're going to be restricting access to particular spaces on our campus. And so I will wait to hear a response back from Academic Affairs in terms of what their plans are with respect to restricting space. One aspect that I want to ensure is if there is a student who's present in the community who's a student who has a special project, whether it's in the ceramics or printmaking areas, I want to see what we can do to ensure that that student can access that space. All right, the question that's come in, will students that will be coming back from break tested? And the short answer to that is that the county and our health center, there are protocols involving testing, and I'm going to wait for Dr. Kathleen Camello to weigh in this so I don't use the wrong language for this. But the short answer is that testing right now is only done on the basis of a doctor's note or prescription. And so I will get Dr. Camello to provide me some additional information for that. So the next question is there a plan in place for our students who have been studying abroad or through NSE and have been recalled from their location? I've had students express concern about maintaining progress towards degree if they're not receiving any or only receiving partial credit for this. And at this point, the discussions are very robust that's been going on between international and the GEO office and the academic schools as to how do we best support students that have returned from abroad. In terms of the number of students, we did have 2 students that were studying in Italy that have now returned to the United States. It's my understanding that a total of 17 students were impacted from the study abroad recalls that are currently going on. But as the town hall continues, I will give any updates that come to me with respect to the planning that's moving along or it's in place for the international students, sorry, the study abroad students. So the next question is with respect to the phone system. So I've just been informed that our phone system does not have the capacity for calls to be forwarded to off campus. So as an advisory is just to simply check voicemails and to send email. The help desk staff can assist with emails. Back to the question about laboratories, specifically the ceramic labs. The ceramic labs and graphic design labs will be open for the seniors who are doing projects for the time being. Back to another question that just came in, will returning students be quarantined? The answer is no. The only time that those kinds of actions are taken is for, right now, in our area, that according to the health center, has been for confirmed cases. Now, if the question is about individuals who are returning from study abroad in nations that are known as level 3 or level 2, there has been 14-day isolation that's been going on for those students who have returned back to New York State. The question is, we currently have non-essential staff who have scheduled vacation time for this week. Should they still charge vacation time, or will this fall under the COVID-19 mandate? Good question for our HR folks to address, and I'll wait for a response to pop up here in just a few moments. So back to the COVID-19 testing question. And this would apply to students, and it applies to all members of the general public. Only students that meet the criteria for testing, and they have to be symptomatic, and they would be tested. This is consistent with the medical advice in the community generally. So again, to reiterate, if you meet the criteria for testing and you're showing symptoms, then you would be tested. Next question, and this has personal relevance to me. Will the searches such as the provost search proceed as planned? I certainly hope so. We will be likely moving to virtual interview process in the short term, but as everyone knows, we're in a fluid, certainly situation, and this would apply to all the searches that we're doing on the campus. We will have to be incredibly flexible on this, but it's my hope that these searches will proceed, but I'm also cognizant of the fact that there could be issues with respect to travel and being able to have opportunities for these candidates to interact with our community. Question about the needs of our students in study abroad programs. The Global Education Office is working individually, one-on-one with our students on credits and through the institutions where they were studying. And it goes back to the initial comment that I made here at the very beginning. Our #1 goal is to ensure student success. I want each and every one of our students who are enrolled at SUNY Plattsburgh this spring semester to have the opportunity to succeed and complete their coursework. I want our graduating seniors to graduate. But most importantly, I want to emphasize flexibility in being able to help these students meet their needs to achieve that course outcome or graduation. The question concerning employees who are on vacation. Employees who are on vacation now or through the week should charge vacation. However, we're awaiting guidance from SUNY, and more direction will be provided prior to any absence submission. Got a question about, it's from our friends at SSS and SAS. Will STAR New York tutoring be expanded? or will the Learning Center provide additional online tutoring? So I'll let that question slide into the inbox and have our experts be able to provide some information about whether the STAR New York tutoring is being expanded at this time. All right. So the question is about teaching. And I think our ITS support folks can help with this as well. Is Zoom the only or preferred online platform to teach students? Can faculty audio record lectures on Moodle instead? I think what I'll start with, before I get the, a more detailed answer from ITS about this, I think if wherever you land with respect to Zoom or Google Hangouts, or if you're doing audio recordings, my first advice is to begin through the Moodle platform and then launch from there. You have complete flexibility with respect to how you want to deliver content, how you want to provide interaction with the students, and certainly the assignments and the ways in which you want to ensure that students are making progress in your classes. And I will continue to emphasize this. As faculty, these are your courses. This is your curriculum, these are your students. And I know you have their best interests at heart. And so launching from Moodle and doing what you need to do is up to you. Nothing prescriptive there. Back to the question about STAR New York. We will continue to have access for STAR New York. And right now we're looking for options at peer remote tutoring. Next question is, have essential staff, such as cleaning and maintenance staff, been provided additional training and equipment to keep them safe while working on site? So I'm going to put that one into the basket for our HR and our facilities experts to answer. But I can tell you right now that the number one priority is always going to be the safety of our employees. And so I will wait for an answer to come in with respect to that, to give you details as to what that looks like in terms of the training and instruction. So I have a question here that says, if we are deemed essential, so if we are deemed an essential employee, and there are 2 employees in the department with staggering of staff, would we have to charge times on days we don't come to campus? So this is, again, a question I'll rely on our HR experts to be able to provide guidance on these, on this very specific alternation of being present and not being present here on the campus. So a question we had maybe about 10 minutes ago came up with respect to student access to the university's, I'll back up, access to broadband and internet. So concerning EduRoam, I'll say that's clearly EduRoam. Yes, on internet access, we participated in a reciprocal access, basically internet service that allows folks and students to use another college's intranet with their home college logins. So yes, if you have proximity to EduRoam at your home, you will be able to access this. So I've received a question about and it's one aspect for an answer about Zoom. Someone has said that the answer is the audio recording in Moodle is okay. There could be problems with storage and file size. And so it's much preferred that you use the Zoom cloud storage for your work with students. Okay. I have a question that says, what about employees who cannot get normal internet and will need to purchase additional gigabytes for their hotspots to continue working at normal speed, especially since many of our children will also be using data to do schoolwork online? The HR page says we will be responsible for all costs associated with working from home. Does this include purchasing additional data? Excellent question, and I'll put that into the hopper right now for some guidance. Again, I want to compliment the participants for their incredibly insightful questions. So the next question is, will students be told this afternoon that there will be refunds, cancellations for room and board charges if they don't return to campus? Actually, I sent a message to students yesterday afternoon informing them that there would be credits and refunds issued for those students who do not return to the residence halls after break. In fact, the calculation point will likely occur with the beginning of spring break. There's much detail to be worked out with respect to how these refunds or credits will be applied, and I'm going to let the students know up front in this afternoon's town hall that the questions that they're going to be, that we're anticipating, have not all yet been answered. But I want to just emphasize that there will be a mechanism put into place that will allow for crediting and refunding student accounts, and it's going to be in some mechanism prorated based on the number of days of non-use, and this information will be forthcoming to our students. So back to the question about the cleaning and maintenance staff, and I think I want to emphasize this. So the cleaning and maintenance staff here on campus have been trained on universal precautions and on the products that we use. We're evaluating and discussing with the health professionals what type of personal protective equipment is recommended. So I appreciate that question. Again, health and safety of our employees will always be #1 priority, and I appreciate that the question was asked, and I want to provide assurances that we will be working through our health and safety and with the employees to ensure that they remain safe in the work that they do. So there's a question that may have been asked many minutes ago that an answer has just popped up, and I'll just read the answer, and I hope it's going to be sufficient for the individual that posed it. If you are an essential employee, you should report to work for your full shift. As we proceed through this difficult time, adjustments may be made to your work or shift hours. So I hope that helps address the questions about essential employees. So the question is, will students returning to campus be asked to stay in their dorms as much as possible? The short answer to that question is that I'm going to be encouraging students who are on campus to maintain social distancing. And as all of us are experiencing here in the community, that essentially means staying home. And I think as we see further restrictions coming from the governor's office and perhaps even more nationwide, there's going to be fewer and fewer opportunities to actually be out in the community, with respect to some of the information that came from the governor yesterday. For example, restaurants and bars shutting down and only being able to provide food on a takeout basis. The closing of casinos, for example. We're going to see a further and further restriction on the number of activities that can occur outside of the home. And that's the whole purpose of this exercise. And I'll just pause for a moment to reflect on what's going on from a public health situation is that we are flattening the curve with respect to the number of individuals who become infected. By isolating and not being in contact with others in the community, we are actually delaying and slowing the movement of this virus through our communities. And so, of course, students will be encouraged to stay in place, to certainly not carry on as business as usual. The question came back up. I'll go back to the question about the additional internet or data support. Concerning working from home, the college is not able to provide additional home internet service at this time. If you do not have equipment or access which may preclude you from performing your duties, please inform your supervisor immediately. Your work assignments may then be adjusted accordingly. There is currently a discussion right now with service providers to expand access regionally here in the Plattsburgh area. So the next question I have is, do faculty have the flexibility to adjust course requirements, assignments, exams, etc.? Are faculty required to uphold the mandatory course contact hours via Moodle, Skype, Zoom, etc.? I'm going to answer this question in a way that returns the, I'll say, the opportunity back to faculty. You have the flexibility to do what's right for your students, and I'm going to leave that to you to make that determination. You know what's best, you know what your students need, and you know what's essential for them to be successful if this is a course that's a gateway or a prereq course or a cognate course for future success in their undergraduate programs. So I'm leaving that to you as faculty and instructors to make those determinations. Next question. For students with specific needs during this crisis, is there a system set up for faculty and staff donations to the student community? Good question. I will put that into the, I'll say the virtual basket here and see what opportunities there are to provide actually donations for our students. I will just let that one sit for now and we'll come back to it. So concerning the number of students on campus, and this will include international students, we are approximately currently having 600 students on the campus. After break, we're going to actively encourage students not to return, and I'm going to emphasize that in my message today as well. And because on-campus services will be limited. And so I anticipate with that additional information and the caveat that we're going to see a constriction and a reduction in the number of services, we will see many students who make the decision that not to return to our campus. Next question. Will art majors be able to continue accessing the studios in small numbers without faculty supervision? I think about a half hour ago, oh, it was a half hour ago, I think a question has come back. We've actually gone through that question already with respect to the gallery space or the studio space being available. So this next question is, my daughter's school has had the same issue for international students and those unable to return home. They sent out an email to faculty, staff, parents, and they had host family locations for all of them within 48 hours. So these students don't have to be isolated in the dorm alone. And I think that's a really interesting idea. What I will do is I'm going to let our experts in GEO and our health and wellness department ponder that idea. I think it's an interesting suggestion. I know it's coming from a place in this question asker's heart in terms of how do we best support our students. And I understand that we want to be doing this at this time to provide as much support for our students. So thanks for the question, and I'll wait for some feedback and guidance on that one. So the question about how do you help students, and I should have made this proclamation at the very beginning, but the best way to help our students is going to be through financial support. And so if you have the desire and the inclination, gifts can be made to the Plattsburgh College Foundation, to the PCF Emergency Grant Fund. And we know that many of our students are going to be experiencing financial hardship through this particular crisis. And I think providing them resources in the form of financial resources is the best possible donation that we can give. So the next question, I'm a departmental administrative assistant. I hate to use the word secretary, so I'll use departmental administrative assistant. And I just received an email that I'm considered essential. What does that mean? I don't understand. What I would recommend is that you immediately connect with your supervisor and determine what criteria is being used for your specific position to make that determination that you're essential versus non-essential. So, question from Dr. Miller. To clarify, going back to lab taping and lab research, can 2 to 3 be present during the activity because of safety requirements about working alone? So just so I'm clear with this question, and maybe there could be some additional feedback on this one. I'm interpreting the question to ask the specific question is, could several people be present in a laboratory research activity? And the short answer to that is, if you can maintain social distancing and at the same time ensure safety, I'm not seeing an issue at this point right now. But again, we need to keep the numbers small. And so again, if you can fit 3 people into a laboratory and maintain a minimum of 6 to 9 feet spacing between the people, then I think you're holding up the spirit of the social distancing aspect. And I've been told to remind myself that we have approximately 3 minutes to go in this session. So I'm going to go through these last few questions, and then I will have a few final comments to make. The question is, how do people self-identify as being vulnerable group by age and with underlying health issues? And so I think that's a question that we'll need guidance from our HR department. And I think the question should be able to be addressed by our HR experts on this. So thanks for that question. The last question, or the next question I have is from an anonymous attendee. Will there be a transcript of this meeting or an updated FAQ? It's my intent that we provide a list of questions and answers that came up in this session, and so that will be posted on our main webpage through the COVID-19 tab that's on the front of our website. I've got time for a couple more questions here, and then I'll slide back to some final comments. Will HR send us some guidance on ongoing searches? We're assuming that people will not be able to travel to campus for interviews. However, we want to be sure that we're being equitable. Will there be HR guidelines? And the short answer to that is yes. We want to ensure that we're approaching all of our searches with equity and providing candidates an equal opportunity for consideration and opportunity to come work at our institution. I've got a final question I'm going to address right now. Since the campus is moving to a virtual instruction model, will the IT help desk increase their staffing and hours to be available to both staff and students during non-typical business hours? And I will put that one into again, the virtual inbox and allow our ITS group to provide feedback as to what they're planning to do for campus to provide an elevated level of service should it be necessary. So I have 1 minute at this point in time to be able to bring our town hall to a close. And I want to thank the participants for your questions. And I know that this is a fluid situation, and I appreciate the patience and also the understanding that's being expressed through your questions and also through your inquiries. And I want to just finish in saying that this is dynamic. This is incredibly stressful for each of us. And I just want to assure you that we will get through this. And as a final piece of advice, take time for yourself as you need to. We're all going to need our strength to get through this together. So thank you again for your participation. Thank you again for being wonderful colleagues. And thank you for everything you do to support our students and to make SUNY Plattsburgh the great institution that it is. Thank you again.